Okay, I'm back with Martin and Vicky at Reading City down at Rivermore Stadium. So we were talking a little bit about the history of the club and where they are now. So just tell us a little bit, Martin, about the league you play in now and where it sits in what they call the football pyramid.
So we moved over 2 years ago. The FA done a complete reorg, and we came over from the Atlantic Prem, which probably people knew we were probably in, and we came over to the Combined Counties. They built a new division, a new Step 5 division, which is the Combined Counties North, and all the people sitting to, as you look at it, were sitting to the west of it have all moved over into the North League of the Combined Counties.
So
but
west,
also we've gained,
west has gone to the north.
yeah, sort of thing. So we've also gained around London and around. So for us, instead of us going all the way down to Bristol and out that way and up to Gloucester, we now go the other way around the M25, which is it's interesting. But it's new games, it's new teams to play, so it's exciting. It sits at Step 5, which, as we all know, is 5 below the conference. So
5 below the conference.
Yeah, so level 9 of tier 9 as we stand.
Okay, what's the ambition for the club in terms of where
it
would like to sit?
I think if you look at the history of the club, we've always been about building and putting building blocks in place, making sure the foundations are correct, and then the next level you build and you build and you build. And I think as a club now, we're probably nearly, with the work that's going on and it's nearly finished, we're in a position that, you've got to look at ambition to try and get promoted. Whether that happens now, it happens in 3 years, but you've got the building blocks to do it. Whereas 3 or 4 years ago, someone said, "Oh, you're going to be promoted," we'd have gone, "We're nowhere near that." Not just the financials, but actually the infrastructure, and also having the people and having the right people around the club, but also having the right management team. And Simon and his team now have come together, and they've got every attribute that you can want for a management team to be successful. And they're getting the team to be more of a team. They're bonding, they're doing things, but they're also involved in the club in a lot they do. And I think in this day and age, a lot of the players, they end up coming in, playing a game, going home, or they go to a game, don't see them. Whereas this group at the moment, right the way down, not just our first team, under 23s, our development, and our Lions, they all come together at a couple of times of the year. I mean, last year's presentation, which I'll come on to, Vicky will talk in a minute, which Vicky was part of organising, we had all of those adult teams in, and we had a whole complete hall full of everybody listening to the presentation, listening to the managers, and actually doing that. You show that the club's moved on from being one team on its own to everybody being involved. And presentation day, some of them come along for the youth presentation. Well, the youth players love it. They love to see the first team and the players, and that's about a club and a community. It's not just about
so it's
one
almost
team.
like a family feel.
It is, yeah. It's definitely getting there, and we've got a lot of families come in. I'll let Vicky explain about the match day, but we have families come in.
You're being set up here, Vicky.
I am, absolutely. Time for me to be quiet.
Yeah, no.
Does that happen?
Pardon?
Does that happen?
Very rarely.
Okay. Well, we'll make that a first then. So tell us a little bit about your role, Vicky.
So I came along as I was a mum of a youth team here, and I think it was
start?
Yeah, and I always just wanted to help because I wanted to help with the admin and to streamline, and get sort of the general ethos into place down onto paper. So I ended up being on a managers group and started to boss all the sort of youth managers around. So actually it was quite good because, you're sort of saying, I don't really understand the game of football, but I enjoy the makeup surrounding it. Mm-hmm. So if I'm the person there that can actually tighten up the admin procedures so we're following the right processes for welfare, collecting subs, making sure the families and team members and coaches and players have got right codes of conduct, that we're just ticking all the boxes, because I just hate to see us wasting money on fines, because you could get a fine for putting in a late result, or you could get a fine for, there's so many different things with leagues. So I want to spend that £20 on a football for a child here within our community group and not give it to a league. So that's my mission really, to stop many fines and to use that money wisely. So I became the treasurer But from there,
you control the financing.
well, with Martin's support and so on, because he's a whiz on Excel, so between us both, we can do quite a lot of the admin.
So does that include the transfer budget?
Yeah, oh no, yeah. But I think, you know, we've got 24 youth teams. We've got a really
24?
Yeah. So we've got a really good pathway from the under-7s all the way through. So we do have some players that have actually gone through that pathway and then joined a development team, and from there have played in the under-23s and gone to perhaps play a few games in the first team, or they've had the smooth transition from youth football to young men's to adults.
So you can grow up in the club to a degree.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what it's about. It's one club.
Is that men and women?
We have a sister, it's mainly men, but we have a sister club here that use the ground, Tilehurst Panthers. So we work really well together, as well we ground share with Woodley, but we work really well together with Tilehurst Panthers, so we call each other sort of brother and sister club.
So it's a really busy field.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's something going on here every Saturday, basically.
Yes. So going back to that, I've gone from doing all the admin, which I do in the week, and then go to the match day on a Saturday. I work here and help with the general setup, and we work behind the bar. And from there, we do the food as well.
Now, the food is a story in itself, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Because I can see on the other side of this huge boardroom we're sitting in that you've even been featured in The Sun. I think that was a positive.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a positive. And we've been on BBC Sports. We've been on quite a few, haven't we? Talk Sports with Ali McCoy's.
Tell us the story. How did this all come
It
up?
was
It's something to do with Chinese food, isn't it?
I know. So there's a Twitter feed called Footy Scram, and someone tagged us in saying, come and get this Chinese selection box from Reading City FC. All of a sudden, the tweets, it just went viral. It was sort of 1 minute it was 4,000 likes, 8,000 likes, 12,000 likes, retweets. You know, it was being shared constantly.
6 times the capacity of your ground.
Yeah, and it actually was going up to like 20,000 likes, and I just said to Martin,
amazing.
well, you are a good cook. Why don't we just go and get all the ingredients and do this? If we don't, another local club will do it. So why don't we just do it? Let's try it, and let's go. Because it was as a joke, but when you looked at the food content, you're thinking we can do this, and we did. So we went out and bought all of the, the boxes, and we then started to, we've got the noodles in there, pak choy. You've got different, you've got spring rolls, Chinese, the chicken balls and so on. So yeah, and a Thai red curry. Is it? Yeah, we've got that in there as well, and we're selling it at £10.
£10?
I know. That's a bargain.
You sure you're actually selling it, not
I
giving it away?
I know.
As seen on TV.
Yeah, and I think from there you started to then the groundhoppers were coming in more. So I remember one chap said it was just after COVID, and funny enough, not many leagues were carrying on. Everyone was still at a halt from March to June. Was it March to June last year? There was only one league that did carry on, which, funny enough, Martin's chairman of. That's Thames Valley League, and all of their games, carried on. But however, with that, when we did start to slowly move again, and the wheels were turning, and we're coming out of the COVID situation. We found groundhoppers were coming in saying, oh, we were going to go to Hungerford, but we've seen how great your food is, so we want to come further afield and come and see you. So can we have the food box?
Just to explain to people who don't know what a groundhopper is. It's not some sort of cuddly animal, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe some of them are, but...
it's just people with a passion to go and view stadiums. But what they do is, the little that I know of groundhoppers, that they will have their cameras and they will just take great photos of every angle and corner of stadiums that potentially we walk by every day and don't see. Like we've got some great turnstiles out there that have been there for years, haven't they? In fact, you saw a logo on there the other day, didn't you? How long have they been there for?
They came out of the original Cardiff Arms Park.
Really?
Yeah. The groundhopper came. There's a number on there. We never knew. The groundhopper found the number and he's put it all over Twitter. These are the original things, and I traced them through, and they actually were bought from the sale of that ground.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I would have thought you might have something from the old Elm Park because you're just down the road.
No.
But you've actually got something from the original Cardiff Arms Park.
Yeah.
It's a historic monument.
Yeah, it is.
You'll get Welsh raiding parties coming.
They'll be disappearing soon.
Yeah, so they just go from grounds to grounds, and I suppose throughout the season they'd like to turn back and say I've visited 50 grounds and I've travelled so many miles to go and see them, and this is my rating of them.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what it's like to come here on match day. So you maybe never been to Rivermore before. How much does it cost to get in? You've got car parking, all that sort of thing. What's it like?
So it's a local bus route, number 17 in Tilehurst.
Purple bus.
Yes, yeah. And also if you're driving in, you've got ample parking. And then
Is it free?
Yes, it is free. Yes, we've
Free
got free
parking
parking. I know. So we've got the free parking, and then at the turnstiles, it's £8 a ticket, and then £3 for concessions.
£8 to get in for a full 90-minute football match.
Yeah, definitely.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and then most people probably arrive around 2 o'clock, and then could stay till 6:30. So it's a whole afternoon for them. And they come in, and then on a lovely day they would just come in and have some food,
which we've just been talking about.
Yeah, or a pint of beer or ale. We've got a variety of ales.
You've got a clubhouse here, haven't
yes, we've got the clubhouse, and obviously in the winter as well we provide warmth and shelter here too for the locals, so they come along and watch a few games.
Are you a warm bank? Is that what they're calling these
Yeah,
buildings?
it could be actually for this winter.
Well, we'll publicise it if it is.
Yeah. So many people, a lot of locals that have been here, coming here for years, still come along and enjoy the game and the match day feel.
So just describe what it's like to be in the stadium, because some people will be thinking seats and terraces. It's not quite like that, is it?
No, you've got the freestanding area, haven't you, undercover.
So proper standing,
yeah, so
like what we used to do.
You've got a grass pitch, and what's surrounding our grass pitch, you've got all the white walls and so on, so they're quite good to lean on actually. And the sun, being where we're facing towards the sun, you do get the lovely heat of the afternoon sun as well when it's out. And people take their food and their sort of plastic cups of beer out there and to watch the football. We've got a small stand as well. To what side's that on? Sort of, by the centre circle. So we've got a standing area, seated area there. I don't know how many it holds. About 200.
Do you have a TV gantry and a media centre?
No.
The answer was yes.
Oh yeah. There probably. I know there are some seats up there for media, isn't there?
And a little ball.
And we've also got. We're just at the moment refurbishing a couple of containers that we've put together along the side here of the clubhouse, because we knew we wanted some more room, but we've put windows in there, so hopefully in the winter, when they're all refurbished and done, people can go in there and watch, sort of get out of the biting wind. They can go in there with a cup of tea or
boxes.
a bottle and go and watch the game from there.
That's the way it used to be
Yeah.
when I first started going over 50 years ago.
So yeah, they can they'll be able to watch from there too. And that will come into the clubhouse. We've got Sky TV will be on, and you can watch a game of football, and then most people just come up at half time and order foods, anything from chips to burgers or flatbreads, chicken flatbreads, and so on.
Now, and certain other Berkshire club just up the road, up the A329M, have drawn a fairly decent game in the FA Cup. Of course, not happening to you this year, but maybe in the future. Would you be able to handle something like that here?
Yeah.
Martin's nodding his head. Unfortunately, that doesn't work on radio because they can't see.
Well, I think you would have the space, and I think if you've got time to prep it as well, and you've got to support the community to get in the relevant support like the police and so on to be
So
their
this morning
stewards.
they're going to have to put extra floodlighting in because the lights aren't bright enough for TV apparently.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
so-
No, I don't doubt it, because if you look at most league grounds and above or even below that, they've got a lot more lights, whereas us at our level we'll probably have 3 on a pillar. Yeah. And whereas you look at
That's
them,
enough, isn't it?
it is enough. It gives you the complete lumen to actually run the ground. But the problem is with those ones is that you'll find that they've got 6, and the reason is they need a certain light, so as it gets dark, especially at night when it's dark, the cameras won't work properly.
No.
So yeah,
Okay.
a lot of expense, great publicity, and yeah, hats off to them. I think being able to do it yourself, you're never ever going to forget that, and you can actually put your feet up and go, do you know what, greatest experience. No matter what anything, that'd be the greatest experience ever. The only thing is the amount of time, effort and cost. You've got to hope it doesn't do the opposite and actually work out not worthwhile.
No.
And that's the level, and that's the seesaw.
Is that an ambition though? One day.
Oh yeah, I definitely play it at home, 100%. No matter whatever it costs, you got to, because you're never going to get the chance.
Would you be secretly hoping to draw the other Reading club?
Oh, absolutely.
A Reading derby.
Do you know what? Even a pre-season friendly would be funny. Even if they put half of their full squad, even that would be nice.
Well, if they played 5-a-side.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to play DJ again, Vicky?
Oh,
you've got another
okay.
track
Yeah.
choice now, haven't you?
This is a good changing room one. It's Adele, Someone Like You.
Someone Like You. Okay, let's have a listen.